Well, hello and welcome to my review of the Mora Scout knife. Now, the Scout is a unique offering in the Mora lineup. Everything's different, from the blade shape to the handle to the sheath, but with no real discernible gains in performance over the other designs in the same category. Now, the overall design lends me to believe that this blade was meant to be put in the hands of children who are ready for the responsibility of an outdoor knife, but are too small overall maybe for a larger offering. I have 3 sons, and my 8-year-old went to Ragweed Forge with me and chose the Scout out of the lineup that he has there on his website because of what he considered its desirable features. Now, this little fellow, the knife weighs in about 3 ounces, so there's a real-world weight penalty of about 0, which is something to consider as an adult looking for a low-load hiking knife. And I'll roll in some video here for you.
Alright, I thought I'd come out here again in the backyard and compete with the cicadas or cicadas or whatever the bugs are called there that are making the noise, and talk a little bit about the Mora Scout. Now, this is my son's knife. I have one in yellow, his is green, and it's your typical 10th inch thick or so stock that Mora puts on their inexpensive plastic handle blades, and it's got the Scandinavian grind like the overwhelming majority, every Mora I've ever seen. It's got a unique shape to the blade. It's not common. It's got the buoy point drop there, which is not typical. It's not a flat back. But this knife is great for kids because the handle's a little small for, I got medium to big hands, and the handle's a little small for my hand. But it's great for kids, for scouts, for cubs, for a boy that's not in scouts or cubs but ready for a knife. It's got the lanyard hole. It's got a keeper strap down here on the sheath. This is a very unique sheath. A lot of Moras don't have this keeper strap here, and that's great for kids as well. And the belt attachment's big enough for a kid's belt, and it just slides right in. I'm doing this one-handed, so I won't slide it in, but it slides in and clips securely. And then in addition to that, you can clip right there, and it'll hold the blade in very securely for children and adults alike. The drain hole is there, but it's got that tie down option there, I guess you'd say, for the leg. You can run like a piece of paracord or something in there and tie it to your leg. I have no idea why. This is only a few ounces, but it's there, and it's shaped that way. You can do that if you'd like. And in addition to that, it's cut out in the top of the inside hole, and the water will drain out of there. So yeah, I wanted to roll into some awesome 640 by 480 video, and I'll talk about this particular knife in the rest of the slideshow.
Now, Scout rolls in on the scene with a 12C27 stainless Scandi ground blade and a hard plastic handle banded horizontally for a better purchase. Now, the bands are poured in monolithically with the plastic handle, and they don't offer a rubberized surface, which is inferior to some of the Moras with a more aggressive grip offering in the same price range. Now, the blade's slightly longer and thinner than some of its same-size brothers, coming in at about 3/4 of an inch wide and 4 inches in length, with the typical 10th inch thick blade stock. Of course, these measurements are approximate. I didn't break out the calipers. Now, the blade isn't straight spined like most of the other competing models, making the Scout look kind of like a baby buoy. It doesn't really offer any cutting advantage in this size of blade stock and weight, but it does look cool. The handle's short, really too short for adult hands, but it does have a lanyard hole if you're into that type of thing. It fits neatly into its carry system, and it fits nicely on the belt. And you can see it has kind of a unique butt there. And the overall system is nice. It looks good. Now, the sheath is both rubbery and hard plastic, but it's still the same bag of Army men quality material. It works quite nicely. The Scout sheath really shines in comparison to its brethren, with a usable belt loop, a keeper strap, and a lanyard hole at the base of the sheath, which doubles as a drain. I was a little disappointed to find my keeper strap button tearing up off its base after some use, but my son seems to be holding up okay. This does, however, seem like a weak point in the engineering of the sheath, and it's something to consider if you're considering purchasing a Scout or another model, for example. Application is war fighting. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're 8 and you're carving out a spear to fight Nazis with, it might seem that way. It's an outdoor knife. Campcraft, light firework. It's a nice little butchering and bushcraft blade for little hands, and it would work well in that role. Now the Scout is a great blade for kids. Safe, with a nice finger guard, light as a feather, good carry system, and looks appealing for the adventure-minded boy. But it falls short for the grown-up crowd in several aspects. The handle's just too short, the blade shape offers no discernible advantage, and I value steel in the front of an outdoor knife for toughness. So maybe overall for boys and BB guns a solid yes, and dads and bolt actions you might want to consider a different model.